We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Universal Monsters Dracula Issue 2. This is a 4-part miniseries from Image Comics under the Skybound banner, written by James Tynion IV, art by Martin Simmonds, letters by Russ Wooton, cover by Martin Simmonds, edited by Alex Antone. The cover's really cool and does relate to what's going on in the book, but that scene doesn't actually happen. It's just a really cool image. So it turns out that Dr. Seward, Jonathan Harker, and Mina and Lucy were all at the sort of introduction social event where Dracula was. We get kind of a glimpse of Dracula being kind of creepy and ominous, and a lot of the people don't know where Transylvania is, but he's this exotic stranger, so they're having a social thing. Seward's a little creeped out that Renfield's ship, where all the people died, came from Transylvania, and suddenly this guy comes from out of town from Transylvania as well. Jonathan and Dr. Seward go for a drink at the Gentleman's Club, where a seemingly raging alcoholic version of Dr. Van Helsing is hanging out and telling a story about a vampire and how that is what is actually affecting Renfield. He makes a bit of a spectacle of himself and sort of insults Dr. Seward at the same time. Meanwhile, Lucy and Mina are having a little chat about how amazing Dracula was and how Lucy can't stop thinking about him. And of course, this means that Dracula is going to visit her in the night. Renfield has a little freak out at the asylum, and Dr. Seward begins to question his own actions. We are left with a really disturbing final page, and it's going to lead into issue 3, obviously. This was a really good issue. The dialogue is simple and to the point. We get these really abstract images of a wolf hunting people from a distance. It's got real good mood to it, real creepiness, and whenever they show the wolf or Dracula with his fangs out, it's always very abstract and ethereal, whereas when they show him like at the reception, he looks like a guy in a suit. And that is quite an interesting contrast, because although the art is very abstract to begin with, the sort of blurriness and meshing of the background with the supernatural really gives it that strong, almost paranormal feel to it, of something just out of place. So the art style really affects the story in this, and the art style is definitely not going to be for everybody, as I've stated before, but I think it works really well for this kind of story, and it's really well done. I find this to be a very interesting take on Dracula, and it is based, as I said in the previous video, on the movie from Universal and not the book itself. So there are significant changes here, but they are done really well, and the pacing really kind of moves the story along because it's much more cinematic. So I'm going to recommend this. I think the paper quality is amazing. The cover's cool. The interior art is really cool, even if it's not going to be for everybody. It definitely has a unique style to it that looks really good for a horror book, and the story is really well adapted. So if you get a chance to check this out, I highly recommend it. I have a lot of fun reading this, and I'm looking forward to reading issue 3. And I didn't feel cheated for my $5, which is pretty rare anymore. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.